Leviticus 6:1, KJV, reads, "And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying," This brief verse signals the beginning of a new section of divine instruction. Yahweh is directly addressing Moses to give more commands regarding the handling of trespasses and offerings. Like other times, when this phrase appears, it emphasizes the authority and divine origin of what follows. This is not Moses' interpretation or opinion, but the word of Yahweh being delivered to Israel through his appointed servant. It prepares the hearer to pay close attention to the judgments and laws that govern righteousness, restitution, and priestly procedures for dealing with sin within the nation of Israel. Leviticus 6:2, KJV, reads, "If a soul sin and commit a trespass against Yahweh, and lie unto his neighbor in that which was delivered him to keep, or in fellowship, or in a thing taken away by violence, or hath deceived his neighbor." This verse introduces specific examples of trespasses that are considered not only offenses against a neighbor, but also sins against Yahweh himself. The verse highlights how personal dishonesty, such as lying about entrusted goods, violating a partnership, fellowship, stealing by force, or deceiving, are not just civil wrongs, but breaches in covenant law. The phrase, "commit a trespass against Yahweh," clarifies that all sin against a brother or sister among the Israelites is ultimately sin against the Most High, who established the law of righteousness and order among his people. It shows that Yahweh is deeply involved in matters of justice and expects his people to deal truthfully and honorably with one another, reflecting his own righteousness in their daily conduct. Leviticus 6:3, KJV, reads, "Or have found that which was lost, and lieth concerning it, and sweareth falsely, in any of all these that a man doeth, sinning therein." This verse continues to define the types of trespasses that violate both moral law and Yahweh's commandments. It speaks specifically of someone who finds something lost, but then lies about it, and takes an oath falsely to cover their deception. Such an act is more than theft. It is compounded by dishonesty and the misuse of Yahweh's name through false swearing. The verse emphasizes that whether the sin is theft, deception, breach of trust, or false witness, all such acts are considered serious offenses. These are not just social misdeeds. They are covenant violations. Israel was called to be a righteous nation, and this verse outlines how personal integrity was foundational to maintaining that collective holiness. Every wrongful act against a brother was a direct insult to Yahweh's holy standard. Leviticus 6:4, KJV, reads, "Then it shall be, because he hath sinned and is guilty, that he shall restore that which he took violently away, or the thing which he hath deceitfully gotten, or that which was delivered him to keep, or the lost thing which he found." This verse gives the required response once a man acknowledges his guilt for one of the previously mentioned sins, whether through theft, deception, false dealings, or lying about lost property. The command is clear. He must make restitution. Whatever was taken by force, deceit, or negligence must be returned in full. This upholds one of the foundational principles in Yahweh's law: justice and restoration. Forgiveness in Israel's law wasn't only about confession, it demanded action to right the wrong. The guilty party must acknowledge responsibility and restore what was stolen or mishandled. This preserved both the integrity of the community and the justice of Yahweh's covenant, showing that reconciliation with man and with Yahweh was inseparable. Leviticus 6:5, KJV, reads, "Or all that about which he hath sworn falsely, he shall even restore it in the principal, and shall add the fifth part more thereto, and give it unto him to whom it appertaineth, in the day of his trespass offering." This verse finalizes the restitution process by emphasizing two main requirements: full repayment of what was taken or falsely withheld, and an additional penalty of 1/5, 20%, added to it. This extra portion served not just as compensation, but as a demonstration of true repentance and responsibility. It showed that confession without real cost or correction was not acceptable before Yahweh. The repayment must be made in the day of his trespass offering, meaning both actions restoration to the injured party and atonement before Yahweh had to occur together. This underscores how deeply connected justice toward one's brother and righteousness before Yahweh were. One could not seek forgiveness from Yahweh while still defrauding his fellow Israelite. Restoration and sacrifice were both part of the cleansing. Leviticus 6:6 KJV reads, "And he shall bring his trespass offering unto Yahweh, a ram without blemish out of the flock, with thy estimation, for a trespass offering unto the priest." This verse commands that after making restitution to the wrong party, the offender must also bring a trespass offering to Yahweh. The offering must be a ram, an animal of value, and it must be without blemish, signifying purity and worthiness before Yahweh. This offering is not chosen randomly, but must meet the value determined by the priest, thy estimation, ensuring it is appropriate for the gravity of the offense. Bringing this ram to the priest represents the sinner's acknowledgement that their sin wasn't only against a fellow Israelite, but ultimately against Yahweh's law and holiness. This dual restoration, one to man and one to the Most High, highlights the complete nature of repentance required under the covenant. It was not enough to return what was taken. The spiritual offense also had to be atoned for through sacrifice. Leviticus 6:7 KJV reads, "And the priest shall make an atonement for him before Yahweh, and it shall be forgiven him for anything of all that he hath done in trespassing therein." This verse brings the restoration process to completion. After the offender makes restitution and brings the required trespass offering, the priest performs the atonement ceremony on his behalf before Yahweh. This priestly act symbolizes divine reconciliation. Once these steps are fulfilled, the person receives forgiveness, not just from the one he wronged, but from Yahweh himself. This verse confirms that forgiveness under the law required both restitution and sacrifice, carried out through the appointed priesthood. It shows the seriousness of sin and the mercy of Yahweh, who provided a clear way for the offender to be cleansed and restored within the covenant community of Israel.